Hi, Dominic. We're about to start. You ready?
Wonderful. Hello, everybody.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining. Okay, we're kicking off. Welcome, everyone. This is an in-group fireside chat called Capture, Qualify, Convert, which is about scaling a seller leads business in real estate. And this event today is sponsored by Frisbee, a platform which orchestrates customer conversations. My name is Konstantin Kalabin. I'm strategy director at AIM Group, and I'll be your host today. We at AIM Group have been covering the topic of seller leads for quite some time. So this is not the first event, but I would like to kick off with the sponsored video first, and then we can switch to the chat with the panelists.
Okay.
Fantastic. So today's event is all about seller leads, and as a topic, like I said, we've been following it for some time, and from multiple research we've seen, especially in Europe, about half of real estate agents' time and, more importantly, budgets is being invested in prospecting for seller mandates. And unlike buyer leads, what's interesting is lion's share of this spend is actually still offline. So not surprisingly, many interesting businesses emerged over the last few years, and we wrote extensively about them, which address exactly this problem for the agents, sourcing mandates, securing mandates. And in today's event, we're focusing mostly on challenges and learnings from scaling that seller leads businesses, because it's quite different from quite different process compared to growing a real estate portal. And so joining our fireside chat today, we have Dominic Seri. Welcome, Dominic. Dominic is a director of strategy and transformation at Aviv Group, which is probably the biggest player in seller leads business right now. And it's, if you don't know Aviv Group, it's formerly Axel Springer Classifieds, and it unites leading real estate marketplaces, SeLoger in France, Meilleurs Agents also in France, Immowelt in Germany, and Immoweb in Belgium. Our second panelist is Jonas Wiesel. Welcome, Jonas. He's a co-founder at Real Advisor, and Real Advisor is the leading real estate valuation and seller leads business in Switzerland, and also operates in France and Spain. And possibly more markets, Jonas, but you'll tell about it later. And the last panelist is Julianas Galeckas. He's a co-founder, CEO of Untu, which is a fast-growing startup in real estate space in Lithuania, and it does instant valuations based on data from the real estate register, but it also operates a very successful commission sharing model for real estate professionals for seller leads. And the format today is as follows. We're going to talk shortly about, we're going to talk for about 20 minutes about questions that are on top of everyone's mind, and we know that from our research. And that's going to be followed by a 5-minute presentation by Frisbee, also on this topic, and their learnings from seller leads businesses. And then we'll have another 10 to 15 minutes for Q&A after that. So you can submit your questions at any time, and we'll pick the best ones or the most popular ones. Don't forget to vote for the ones that, if they're already submitted, but they're interesting for you, and we'll try to answer them in the second part. So let's start with the most important question first. I think. What is the most valuable or the most interesting learning for you from building a sell list business? Let's start with Dominic.
Thanks, Konstantin, and hi, everybody. Very happy to be here. Thank you very much. So the seller leads business is a very key topic for us because it's been with Meilleur Salon for several years already, very successful. And we're in the process also started last year to roll it out also with SeLoger, Immowelt in Germany, and also Immoweb in Belgium. So maybe the key learnings for us was really we were like the conversations with agents using all our real estate platforms, and we received over the last years more and more feedback saying like it's really a hard job for us to capture mandate, to find new clients and customers. Most of the sellers are already transitioning through your platform, so they're all visiting SeLoger to check out prices and our estimation tools. Same thing for Immowelt and Immoweb, and saying really, you guys are like matchmakers. Can you please also do this matchmaking for to help us find new clients? And this is what we set out to do. And yeah, we were with very good uptake so far. So we're very positively surprised about the progress. And one other like big surprise for us was to see the interest that it generated also with owners and sellers. So this was not really obvious for us, but we were really surprised to see how open and interested they were to actually talk with our real estate specialists who would help them also to go one step further and to connect them with like agents and professionals in their sector for their type of properties to do this like successful matchmaking.
Great, thank you very much. Jonas, what's your perspective as an independent but quite advanced player?
So yeah, thank you for having me on the talk. I think so. So the question was, what is the most important learning, or maybe the most complex thing I've noticed in the business is maybe for us. I think we underestimated at the beginning the conversion part. And basically, this is only what matters, because the agent your client is at the center, and he needs to have success, whatever the monetization means you're going to use, right? So we had to invest a lot in really being able to choose the right agents when we are on a commission share model, and of course to provide the right tools so they can deal with this type of leads, which they were not used to deal with in the past. So we have to provide them with the right tools and the right trainings, and be able to rank them in order to maximize the success and the monetization. And I think this was the biggest challenge that we underestimated at the beginning.
Great, interesting. And Julianas, have you found the same, or was your learning different in your market?
And the same, yeah, what Jonas was mentioning. Maybe my advantage that I'm nearly 20 years in this business. I was master franchise owner for Remax in Lithuania. I had my office, and I experienced being an agent by myself as well. So I really know the business. And what was really most kind of valuable for us, because we still were struggling with that, it's kind of not to compromise on the quality of the leads which we're delivering to the agents, because this is how we're building the partnership. If they would be getting leads, which not converting into mandates and not converting in sales, we would just, maybe at the beginning we would have this traction, and then we would lose, because our goal is to deliver really good quality, pre-qualified clients, leads who willing to meet the agent, and they thinking about selling the property. So, this is our pre-qualification. And if we try to kind of, okay, maybe we can give the lead, which it's maybe not so pre-qualified yet, we would always get the bad feedback, because agents investing their own time, and it's really valuable. And they hate the clients when they're not picking up the phones, or when they're answering and saying, sorry, no, I don't want to meet, this is a mistake. Or
so perhaps let's expand on this a little bit. How do you actually prioritize those leads? How do you make sure that you only send the ones with the highest likelihood of conversion to the agents?
Yeah, first it's the watching the conversion, so we can see exactly what are the conversions agents are getting from our leads. So our goal is around 25% should convert to mandate. It's mean from 4 leads there should be a mandate. This is our goal, and this is what we kind of focusing to. And like I mentioned, the client should answer clearly. If we do this automatic pre-qualification, or if we do like our telemarketing does, they need to answer the question, I'm willing to meet with real estate agent, and I am thinking about selling the property. Not like, oh, I want just my value. Yes, you want your value, but are you actually thinking about selling? Are you thinking about moving? This should be clear.
You put a time frame in this?
Yeah, if this would be like, oh, maybe next year, then we would be very cautious. Why? Then we would ask why. Why would you need to meet now? What is the reason? Because we gave you valuation. Why would you need more? Because our offer is to have more accurate valuation when he meets with the agent. This is our offer to the end client.
Okay, so that's your prioritization method. Always ask, test the readiness to sell.
Yes.
And Jonas, and I'm sure everyone does it, but slightly different ways. Jonas, what's your take on prioritization and the biggest learning there of like lead prioritization rather than agent prioritization?
So basically, most of the qualification happens online, right, with carefully selected questions. And there's a portion of the leads which we do not hesitate to send directly to the agents, because we know the vast majority are good quality. And then there are some leads which are a bit more unclear, which do get some pre-qualification, but it's not the majority, right? And in terms of conversion, I mean, usually the agents, they convert 25 to 30% of the leads they visit into mandates. I think in terms of the number of leads it requires per visit is a bit more for us than Juliana's. I think this is kind of philosophy and maybe the market, but in Switzerland there's like very, very little things to sell, for example. So, I mean, if you come into the picture too late as an agent, there's already 3-4 people there. So sometimes, even if it's in 1 year's time or 2 years' time, I mean, some of the agents are very happy to go there because they know that if they miss the opportunity, 6 months later, someone else has been there and will steal the mandate.
Interesting. So slow moving market can actually mean years to sell, and agents get into business like that early. That's interesting.
We convert. So we convert leads that arrived 5 years ago, right? So still every day, and so it's combination by doing some of the nurturing ourselves, and also trying to give the right tools for the agents so that they can do the right follow-ups. But this is a bit of a difficulty also sometimes, because some of the leads are very, very hot, but some of the leads have good opportunities and needs a couple of meetings and a couple of calls to close. So yeah, this is part of also educating the agents on how to deal with this. But there needs to be some success and in the number of leads, right? I mean, I agree with Juliana. You need in the portion of the leads which do have genuine strong interest right at the beginning. Otherwise, people will get tired.
Great. And Dominic, from your perspective, operating in really large markets and diverse markets, are there any things to add to this, or things that are radically different?
Yeah, so I think Jonas and Julianis are spot on that to have really well qualified leads is absolutely key. The quality, and to have owners who have an active sales project and are really open and looking forward to meet agents is absolutely key. Also, you were talking about volumes. I mean, we have about over 500,000 estimations every month. So the volumes are absolutely phenomenal. So we do a very strong pre-qualification online with the digital tools. We would not be able to do this manually. This would be totally impossible. So that's our first step, which works very well. So we already like shortlist active sellers that are interested to sell in a short amount of time and ready to meet agents. And then we have a second process, which is human. So we do have like a highly qualified real estate specialist for these specific type of properties in the specific region where the seller is in. And they have a really like a in-depth conversation with these sellers to see, and they actually book the meeting directly with the real estate agent. So the intent to sell and to convert to a mandate couldn't be bigger. So we know they're very, very hot leads and also incredibly valuable. And this should bring us to normally, and it's the case, quite high conversion rates to actually closing a mandate.
Great, thanks for sharing. And for the, obviously that's one side of the equation, you know, how good the leads are, and then how good the agents are and how well they do their job at converting it is the second side of the equation that drives this business. So how do you, what is the ideal profile of an agent that's I don't know, high converting, or the one that delivers the most growth when you grow and the most business for such a business, so it's business where it's commission share driven? Who want to start? Who does want to start?
I can start. Yeah, our experience, you know, it's dealing with the agents. With in Lithuania, most agents are independent contractors. Yes, they could be part of some franchise or some agency, but we choosing individual agents and we rating them. So yes, we're giving an opportunity for them to test with 10 leads. And from this 10 leads, we already can determine, can he move on into our rating and start receiving more leads, or he's dropping out. So, and the best profile, it's experience at least maybe 1-2 years. And again, the best if they already had some experience in trying to generate lead by themselves, maybe online, already spending on some Facebook or Google marketing, who already can kind of determine how much it costs actually to generate the lead by themselves. Like agents who have referral business built by themselves, yes, they would be maybe not our target, but there is potential for them to grow the business through adding our source of the leads. Yeah.
Cannot hear you.
Because they know the value of those leads very well, right?
Yeah.
Great. Dominic, you want to add to this one from the ideal agent profile?
Yeah, so look, I think like every agent has to find mandate. So it's, first of all, it's a business that applies to like every agent and all of our customers. We have like over 10,000 customers using our seller services. So it's very big, right? And we have customers who are very small, who are very big in very tense regions or moderate, and they all have different needs, right? Some don't have the setup to do their own sourcing. Others are more interested in just doing like agent branding and doing their own sourcing. So what we have developed over the last year is quite a full-fledged product portfolio to cater to these different needs. So we have developed, like, for example, very good agent branding products where we really show the profile of agents, where seller estimations are being done, or we know that sellers are actively looking for real estate partners. We also have for agents who want to do their own prospecting, we offer like them prospecting tools to help them do their own prospecting faster. And for those who want to have direct seller leads for whatever reason, or because they want just more volume, or they don't have the capacity to do their own sourcing, we also offer the possibility to send them direct seller leads that they can then work off by themselves. And then the more like high-end product, I would say, is directly booking appointments for them with sellers who are looking for an agent to close a mandate fairly soon. So yeah, I wouldn't say there is like a one size fits all and a very specific target. I think every agent can find a good solution here fitting their needs.
Okay, so at scale, there's actually different solutions that fit different agents, and different profiles respond differently to those.
Exactly.
I guess that's the evolution, right? For these businesses, you're there, Jonas. You're in your markets, not quite. What was your finding about the ideal profile of an agent?
I think if I look at, there's different profiles, but if I look at the people who have the most success, well, first of all, I guess it's the same characteristics to be successful as an agent altogether. That they need to be hungry, they need to be consistent, and they need to understand that it's not a sprint, it's a long-term game, right? So usually these people tend to be, like Julien said, people who are just into the market since a couple of years. Either they started on their own as an independent right now, they're trying to build a new business, or they're just an independent contractor and they need to build a network. And I think a seller leads business is basically a fast track for agents to build their network. But if they want to be successful in the long run, they will have to maintain also these referrals that they will get from meeting all these new potential customers, right? So these people are the ones who need seller leads the most and who have the most success. I mean, everybody can be successful if they do the work, of course, but usually it's this type of people which we see really excelling with us.
Great. Thanks for sharing. I think that's very interesting perspective, right? The different sizes of this business, different profiles tend to merge, and then over time it actually is able to cover different profiles with different models and different products. An interesting question that people keep asking in this space is, how portable is this model, right? And two of you here are already in several markets, and I know Juliana's, for example, had cooperation opportunities in other markets as well outside of the core market. So I think all of you can share a lot of insight into, is it really portable? And if yes, what obstacles, what challenges, what factors matter for being able to copy this model and expand internationally?
Yeah, maybe you can comment on this, because this is really what is our goal. It's to expand, and our product it's ready, and we tested, and we talked with different markets, with different market situations, with different potential partners, and we see that we can take lead from nearly any funnel part. Doesn't matter where is he coming. Is he coming from banner marketing? Is he coming from some kind of valuation tool? We can take and nurture and do all the kind of agent selection and all this already kind of ready on our system, and we can have like white label solution or do it ourselves. It's just do the partnering on marketing, like different ideas and different opportunities. And my experience, because I'm long time in this field, and I had a lot of experience traveling around different countries and know the different countries and different markets. So I feel it's really transferable. It is possible. Yeah, because everywhere, like Dominique was mentioning, every agent needs the mandates. Yes, and this is huge opportunity. Yeah.
Okay, Dominique, agree, disagree?
I completely agree. I think it's also like a business that is still at the beginning, right? A little bit when I remember like 15, 20 years ago when listing publication was starting through portals, it was also like very new and the first agents started to use it. And now it's like really bread and butter for everybody because it's such an efficient and way of getting buyer leads. And we're seeing that for sellers, it's going a little bit in the same direction, right? All these sellers, they are somewhere. I mean, we see like they're all using our portals. There is no reason why we shouldn't connect them with our agents who need these projects and who need this to develop their business. So our job is really to be where our clients need us and to help them be successful on their business. So we still we see like still a huge potential for it, and that it will mature going forward. We started the business nearly 10 years ago already in France, so there it's obviously more established. The question was, is it exportable to other markets? We started rolling it out 2 years ago and also in Germany and in Belgium. The initial reaction sometimes were agents who were a bit surprised when they didn't know it and the business didn't exist. So like asking us, aren't you just supposed to like publish listings and that's it? And we said, no, we actually, but great. If you can do more for us, fantastic. And it's also one of the service where we do have some waiting list. So it's high in demand, and we're seeing quite a lot of demand and uptake also on the other markets where we've trialed it. Maybe one difference we're seeing between like different markets is the value of the lead. So for example, in Germany, there's more exclusive mandates, for example, than in France. And that does make a difference because it would also affect the conversion rate. So the conversion rates with an exclusive mandates may be a bit higher than, for example, with non-exclusive ones.
And so the price of that lead will be higher, of course.
For example, yeah.
Okay. And thank you. That's very interesting perspective. I was wondering, the level of maturity of agents and acceptance of that model, how it differs across your markets, and you just answered that. And Jonas, I know you guys have experience even changing the model in different markets. So could you share a bit here?
Yes. So we have a commission share model in Switzerland, our initial market. It was very good because this helped us really understand the full process and track every step of the process, right? And in the new markets where we entered in France, Spain, and now Italy, we are on a subscription model where agents have access to the tools and to credits for leads. And this way, it's much easier for us to scale, and it's less resource intensive, right? Because when you get paid the majority of the amount 6 to 12 months later, then it costs quite a lot of working capital, and also you need the team to operate this. So for us, it makes sense to scale the business this way, but there's always an opportunity to go further in the transaction and claim a part of the commission at some point. But this is what we chose to do. And maybe to go back on what you were saying in terms of the portability of the business, well, definitely portable, I agree. I think there might be slight differences between market in terms of profitability because markets are different, right? I mean, commission in the UK, for example, is like 1.5%. In Germany, it's like 6%. And then the cost of generating leads is more expensive in those markets as well. So, I mean, I'm not going to tell here like how we choose markets, but we think that it's definitely portable, but there are some different elements that gives a bigger opportunity in some markets.
Yeah, so some markets are definitely more challenging than others due to the structure of the real estate industry. Yes, that's what we found too in our work, and we even know which markets of the big ones are like that, and that explains why we don't see a lot of like big players emerging from there. Yeah, right, and the majority are coming from European large markets now, or not necessarily large actually, but yeah, European markets with high commissions. And so, okay, I think we probably wrap up here on the panel discussion, and we save the rest for the Q&A. So I see questions coming in, and we're going to address some of them together after the presentation. So I would like to introduce Tanguy Talon, who's VP of Global Sales at today's event sponsor, Frisbee. So he's going to share their learnings from across the industry on the seller leads qualification process, how it looks when it's just more than one business that they are working with on the topic. Tanguy, the stage is yours.
Yes, here I am. Thank you, Konstantin. And I'll try to be brief, but pragmatical and concrete. So indeed, Konstantin asked me to think about this question specifically, like how do you prioritize the most valuable leads? And I've been thinking about, based on what we're doing, based on discussion we have with a lot of different marketplaces, like 4 ideas on what you could do connected to that. Just to start with, because I like to visualize things, a very simplified version of the journey. We know lead is going to land on your platform. There will be a journey. You might look at an article, blog, the first very high-level valuation. Then you will go through the proper valuation form. Then potentially there will be a qualification call, and at some point you will transfer to the agent and help the agent to actually follow up on the lead. The idea number 1 is connected to the lead scoring. So if you want to prioritize your lead, you definitely need to be able to score them in some way. Some of this is coming from the lead journey itself, and most of it will also come from the valuation form and then the qualification call. If we look at the valuation form, one tips or idea or recommendation we have in discussion we often have, it might sound obvious, but sometimes it's nice to say obvious things, is to make sure that you very early in this valuation form can collect the key qualification information. If it's about the timing, get this. If you don't really care about the timing, because any lead is important even in 5 years, less important. If it's about the area, the localization, etc., get it as soon as possible. And this leads me to the idea number 2, which is, let's try to build a smart or custom valuation form. Instead of having one version for everybody, we know it's a long form. It might be a 15-step. There will be drop-off. Maybe you can build something that adapts to the segments. And if you detect in the valuation form that is a high-value lead, maybe you can give more options. And instead of just click to fill the next pages of the next step, maybe they can have the option to talk to an expert. Or maybe they can be called back by an expert or have a WhatsApp chat. Or maybe if you detect that this is a high-value lead and at the stage 3 is about to leave the form, a pop-up, hey, a 5-minute chat with an expert might help you conclude that. And then you jump earlier, again for the high-quality one, into the qualification call. So this is a way to reduce the drop-off and to get more qualification down the road. If you're building this way, it leads to a third topic or question is, if you're opening a possibility for leads to contact your team or the qualification directly, it changes a bit the logic, right? It's not the classic way of you do the qualification online and then you tell your call center team to get back to this lead. If the lead that can actually reach out to your qualification team anyway during the process, again, if there's high value. And here, there's a few tips where you can make sure that you track everything about this incoming call, and you help your qualification team by telling them, okay, this call, this incoming call is for, and you give all the context and the details, is for this type of property, this location, this kind of user, this stage of the valuation form. So they know exactly where to route it, which person in the call center, which expert, and they know how to answer very quickly and how to qualify this person, almost as if they had the entire evaluation form in front of their eyes. So it's kind of an instant data sharing. And for me, the last one, it's all about then the follow-up. So you'll do the qualification, you will transfer to the agent. As a platform, as a brand, is important for you to also keep the follow-up and know what's happening in there. And so we highly recommend to be able to obviously track when the agent is actually getting back to the lead, and then build up some ad hoc follow-up in there. It can be an SMS to the lead. Hey, we hope the call went great. Are you keen to go on with the agent? Or do you want to talk to another one? It can be a survey to the agent. It can be a notification to your qualification center saying, hey, it seems that there were no follow-up. Maybe you need to call the lead back and maybe re-engage the conversation, etc., etc. So it was kind of a quick drop of 4 ideas. But again, like, you can improve the way you segment, you can improve the way you custom the valuation form, you can work on routing inbound call into your qualification team, and you can also work on how do you follow up and re-engage based on the type of lead and the action the agent took. So that's it for me. It's what we do with a lot of people. So if you got any question, more than happy to answer during the Q&A or anytime afterwards. Konstantin, I give you back the stage.
Thank you, Tanguy. Thank you very much for sharing your insights as well. We now have questions from the audience, and given the time, we'll probably take only a few. But let's look at the question. I think one of the more interesting one is the model that you charge. Obviously, we have interesting mix of models, and for example, Aviv Group has all of them, right, in their portfolio. How do you actually charge for those leads? But a more interesting question is how you decide the value of the lead. So when it's not commission sharing, when it's very clear, how do you decide the value of the lead when it's pay per lead or when it's any other kind of hybrid model when you offer it in this model?
I could comment on this because we started from the commission based, and it was again we did kind of an auction. We starting from the higher, like from 35, and if it's not sold in an hour, then it goes to 35. But usually 95% of all leads are sold for 35. But this is how we grew from 20 to 25, 35, and this is how we determined the value of the split. We're getting paid. And then like 8 months ago, we introduced a fixed option, but the price for the fixed lead we determined accordingly to data we already have from the success based. It's what is the location, what type of property, what is the value of the property, all this data, and then our algorithm decides what is the price for the lead we can offer. And then we have insurance as well. This is very new. Like they can buy with insurance. This gives an option to convert into success fee in 24 hours. And this is kind of allow us to encourage agents to try the fixed fee, because for agents who are converting well, the fixed option, it's really good because this is when they're getting kind of rewarded for better conversions. Because it's always, if it's on success, doesn't matter, if I'm converting well or not, I'm not benefiting so much from that. Yeah, but on the fixed, if he's converting well, we're getting the same money, but he can get more. So this insurance helps. Yeah.
Interesting. Anyone else wants to share, Jonas or Dominique, from mixing and actually how do you decide value of the leads? I think that's the question people are asking. How do you charge agents, but also how do you price the actual lead?
So for example, in the subscription model, it's basically we don't do a price per lead, but what happens is that it's kind of an auction system. Mm-hmm. So if there's more agents in an area, or if it's an area where there's less potential sellers, basically the price per lead will be higher. But the subscription, the total monthly subscription, is usually the same. So if they want more leads in a difficult region, they will have to increase the subscription, right? So basically, it's a kind of an auction system depending on the supply of leads and the number of agents in a given region. So that's for our international markets.
Dominique?
Healthy competition.
Yeah, so we have the different pricing models. We do subscription as well as pay per lead, as well as like pure commission share. So from my experience, they all have pros and cons. The pros of the ones are the cons of the others.
Which ones are better for like early to mid growth stage?
So I think one key criteria is some leads are incredibly scarce and valuable, and obviously it's probably not a good idea to bundle them into a subscription. So going more towards like the more success-based direction.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most important thing is actually that it's a win-win. So agents are smart, they make their numbers, and they want a good return on investment. And we want not to lose money also, so that it's really profitable for both sides. And each side puts €1 in and gets €2 out, basically. So, but I think the three models are good. Yeah, the one that maybe the subscription would start off is probably the one that would scale slowest, I would say. So a good way to start is a bit more success-based, so PPL or commission share is a good way to start, maybe for starters.
Okay, thank you. So that
Yeah, maybe I just add, but we had only success fee, but then we added at least some minimum like €15 fixed fee. Like this helps to agent to decide is he really interested in that lead? You know, is he committed? It's like a commitment fee, which it's pretty small, but it kind of makes the system work more smoothly. Yeah.
Interesting. So a lot of experimentation, I guess, and market adaptation that needs to happen. Another question that is hugely popular is how, so, you know, in these businesses, usually the main or the first acquisition funnel for the leads is valuations, right? But the question is, do you have other channels for your seller leads acquisition, and what are the biggest ones outside of just valuation? Tricky question. Especially if you're not a portal.
Yeah, for us it's still valuation. It's the biggest. We tested different kind of offers, but I would say valuation like an entry, but then a big part of our leads are coming from doing the kind of constant nurturing. And then like, I don't know, up to 60% of our leads, which we sell today, they came from sometimes months and years before, because we do the emailing, we do some advice, and this is when they kind of getting on board. So I would say if you do only the evaluation, you give the report and that's all, it's not going to be successful. You know, we send the report, renewed report with the new value every month, with the transactions in the market, and this is really important. This is how we're nurturing the clients, and like a big part of our leads are coming from these reports, from constant communication with them. Yeah.
Fantastic. So okay, and Jonas, for you, is the same, or like is nurturing the real key, and the first acquisition is valuation, or it's somewhat different?
Well, nurturing is what can create your advantage versus an individual agent doing his own marketing and so on, right? But in theory, yeah, like if you like Meilleurs Agents do 500,000 valuations per month, very quickly, basically every single person in France has given your contact details. So if you have your list and you know how to interact with them and provide meaningful information for them, then these people will come back and when they're ready, they'll prompt to meet an agent. So I think, yeah, it's a key important point in order to make the business profitable.
We have 40% all properties valued in Lithuania already. So
exactly.
we need to do something, different. And this is about nurturing and looking for different ways how we can create value, like through getting, to the buyer offer, because we have, like I said, 40% of passive listings on our database. It's massive, and there's a lot of ideas what to do with that, but it takes time and a lot of testing. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess Dominic, do you confirm what Jonas said?
Yeah, I think, Julianis, you're spot on. I think it's very important for us, it's maybe a little bit different because we're also like Portal. So a lot of sellers or owners are transitioning all the time, day to day on the sites, independently of evaluations. And I think it's just like, at some point, we know for us, like a third of our seekers or visitors are also owners. So they're maybe not active sellers today, but they will be tomorrow. So it's about providing value to them at the right time when they're ready to sell or they're starting to incubate a sales project, to be there with the right solutions for them. And here, I think like valuations are really good because they will need nowadays. Owners or sellers are not comfortable just to go out on the market and sell their property. They do some research, they want to look at prices, they want to look at the neighborhood. So this is really important that we provide these tools to them to have this good information before we can connect them with real estate professionals. And I think it's about providing value to them, and valuations is a very good one. It could be something else, but it's something that every single seller needs and values. And as Julianis was saying, for us, it's also a lot of the nurturing is very important. So we do send emails every month to update them on the prices of their property, because the markets are changing, and a lot of people just this is their way of coming back to us when they're ready to sell and then connect with agents.
And maybe if I may, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna give you the
yeah, from a tech perspective also, this nurturing stuff is very interesting, because you can, if you detect that the person coming on the valuation form actually came the third time, and the first one was years ago, and came like 2 more times, and maybe in between you already had some bit more qualification, that, wow, this is a very hot lead, because now the person is ready, he clicked on this and this content after having done this. So maybe you can tweak a bit the valuation form. You can offer a quicker one or jump quicker into some in-depth qualification, and you make it like shorter and more efficient somehow. So this is also a way where you can adapt the call to action of the valuation form.
It's huge opportunity, because smallest conversion change at really big impact for the end result. It's just endless work, how you can tweak, because it goes in a circle. Buyers are sellers, like 60-70% people who buying, they're actually selling. They keep moving. For Portal, this huge opportunity to kind of provide extra value for the buyers who are already coming into Portal. So how to offer full circle. This is a huge opportunity, and we can help with that.
Because I think that's really important what you're saying now, Julianis, is like when you're looking for a property and you happen to be an owner, often it's the time where you're thinking about it's actually a switching, not only a purchase. So this is a really relevant time to be there for them, and when they're ready to, they will often owners will look at like buying or searching, and at the same time at selling. This is when both processes often happen in parallel, and this is also the right time to not put them into one funnel or the other, but to be there for both sides. And you see the right tools in place to identify them, like you were saying, Tanguy. This is absolutely key.
So we see value. These businesses, they can grow independently very strongly because they provide agents with a lot of value and serving their real need. But ultimately, when it combines with portals and their lead generation ability and their also desire to serve this side, of agents, budget and requirements, then yeah, there is an interesting dynamic here, and I think we will see a lot of interesting competitions and partnerships and mergers in markets and around this space, and technology will continue to evolve. So I think we pretty much out of time now, and we unfortunately don't have any more opportunities for questions. But I would like to thank you very much for joining us today. Juliana, Jonas, Dominic, thank you very much for your contributions and sharing your experiences. Tanguy, thank you for sharing your learnings as well, and for obviously Frisbee for sponsoring this event. And we have a few more events, online events coming at AIM Group this year on different topics. So please stay tuned, and hopefully we'll see you shortly or sometime during the year. One important comment is also this was recorded, and so it will be shared with everyone who registered in a few days. So stay tuned for that as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.